Hi everybody, it's Miss Elkins. I want to talk to you today about dividing fractions. So these are our notes on dividing fractions. They're also in Schoology. You'll want to write this down and then go back and type your answers into the notes in Schoology. So to divide with fractions, because we know how to multiply with fractions, and that's pretty easy. It's just numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. It's also the same when dividing fractions, except you have to do a couple of steps first. So, when you're dividing with fractions, you need to change each mixed number to an improper fraction. This step cannot be skipped. You have to have an improper fraction to multiply or divide with fractions. So, and then there's some steps to follow. Rewrite the first fraction. Change the problem to multiplication. And then find the reciprocal of the second fraction. Then you multiply, then simplify. So we change a dividing problem into a multiplication problem. Before I tell you how to do that anymore, let me just tell you how and why that works. If I multiply, or I'm sorry, if I divide 12 by 2, I get 6. Everybody knows that. That's agreeable, right? Watch what happens when I multiply 12 times 1/2, or the reciprocal of 2, right? The reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. 12 times 1 is 12. 1 times 2 is 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So, when you multiply by the reciprocal, it's the same thing as dividing the number. Now, I remember this with a little acronym. I call it KCF. Sometimes I think of chicken when I multiply or divide with fractions. The K and C and the F make me think of Kentucky Fried Chicken. What they stand for is keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction the same, change the problem to multiplication, then flip the second fraction upside down to its reciprocal. So let me start with number 1 as an example. I keep the first fraction, 1/2. I change this to multiplication. So this becomes 1/2 times. And then I flip the second number upside down to its reciprocal. 3/8 becomes 8/3. And now I can just multiply. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. It's much easier than trying to divide by 3/8. 1 times 8 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. And now I can simplify that down. 6 will go into 8 one time with 2 6 left over. 2 6's needs to be simplified. So my final answer, 1 1/3. 6 simplifies down to 1/3. How many 3/8 are there in a half? There's one full 3/8, and there's a third of another 3/8. Okay. Number 2, I have to change this to an improper fraction. I multiply the whole number times the denominator and add the numerator. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 plus 2 is 20. This becomes 20 over 3. Change to multiplication, right? Keep this one. Change to multiplication. And flip the second one. So flip 3/4 into 4/3. And I'm going to multiply just like I learned to multiply fractions. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. 20 times 4 is 80. 3 times 3 is 9. That's improper. I have to simplify that back down. 9 will go into 88 times, because 8 times 9 is 72. 80 minus 72 is 8, so that's 8 and 8/9. Your answer should always be in fraction form when you're working with fractions. Don't give me a decimal answer when you're working with fractions. I will count it wrong. Okay, plus 8/9 is going to be a repeating decimal, and so is 1/3. Alright, so let's try this. Let's do our KCF. Keep, change, flip. 3/4, we keep it. Division sign, we change it. The second fraction, we flip it. The reciprocal of 2 is 1/2, because this is really 2/1. And then we multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 2 is 8. There are 3/8 of 2 and 3/4. Alright, number 4. Remember, this is 3/1. You keep, you change, you flip. 2/5 stays 2/5. Well, division becomes multiplication. 3/1 becomes 1/3. Multiply 2 times 1. Multiply 5 times 3. There are 2/15 of 3 and 2/5. Notice your answer gets smaller. Number 5, I have to change this to improper, but I'm still going to keep it even though I'm changing it to improper. So 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. This becomes 11/4. Change it to multiplication. Flip it upside down. 5/1 becomes 1/5. 11 times 1 is 11. 4 times 5 is 20. There are 11/20 of 5 and 2 3/4. Okay. You can also divide fractions by whole numbers, which we did in problems. So let's try that again. 4/5 divided by 6. Remember, keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction, 4/5. Change it to multiplication. Flip the second fraction upside down. 4 times 1 is 4. 5 times 6 is 30. Divide those both by 2. And you get 2/15. Alright. I know that they were divided by 2 because they're both even numbers. Let's look at the second problem. Remember, you have to change everything to improper before you can multiply or divide with it. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 2 is 17. And then we change this to multiplication. Remember, keep, change, flip. And then we change this to its reciprocal. It's now 1/8. 17 times 1 is 17. 5 times 8 is 40. 17 is a prime number, so I know that won't simplify. Alright. If you're writing this down. Okay. Alright, so the same rule applies to dividing fractions by fractions. So first, let's find the reciprocal of some numbers. What's the reciprocal of 16/21? Oh, 21/16. The reciprocal of 8 11ths, 11/8. The reciprocal of 3/1, 1/3. Notice I didn't put an equal sign there because they're not equal, they're reciprocal. Let's do the work here. 3/4 divided by 2/3. Keep the first fraction. Remember, K, C, F. Keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction, change it to multiplication, and flip the second fraction upside down. Now it's 3/2. Multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 2 is 8. That is improper. 8 will go into 9 one time. 1/8 is left over. Remember, keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction. Change it to multiplication. Flip the second fraction upside down. 2 times 2 is 4. 7 times 1 is 7. Final answer. Oops. Wow, I almost wrote that down wrong. Final answer, 4/7. That doesn't simplify. 1 5/8 divided by 1/4. Remember, you can't work with mixed numbers in multiplication and division. You have to change them to improper. 1 times 8 is 8, and 8 plus 5 is 13. This becomes 13/8. And we still keep change flip. We'll multiply that times 4 over 1. Now, because I don't want to multiply 13 times 4, because I can't do that in my head, I'm going to simplify this first. If this confuses you, please go ahead and multiply 13 times 4 and simplify it afterwards. I like simplifying it before. 4 will go into 4 one time. 4 will go into 8 2 times. Now I just have to multiply 13 times 1 and 2 times 1, and becomes 13 over 2. But that'll simplify because 2 will go into 13 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12, and I'll have 1/2 right there. Please always make your answer a mixed number. Okay, 2 more practice problems. 1/4 divided by 3/5. Remember, keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction. Change it to multiplication. Flip the second fraction upside down. 1 times 5 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. 5 doesn't go into 12. That's your final answer. Number 7, keep 7/8. Change, multiplication, flip, 4 over 1. 7 times 4 is 28. 8 times 1 is 8. And I'm going to have to simplify that down. 8 will go into 28 3 times with 4/8 left over. 4/8 is equal to 1/2. This is 3 and 1/2. Always simplify your fractions. One more example, or 2 more examples. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 5 is 17 over 6. Keep, change, flip. Now it's 17, 6 times 3 over 2. I'm going to simplify this down because I know that 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now I just have to multiply 17 times 1 and 2 times 2. That can simplify because 4 will go into 17 4 times. 17 minus 16 is 1. 4 and 1/4. And then, finally, 3/10 divided by 3/5. Keep, change, flip. I really want to simplify this first, but I won't, just because I know it confuses some of you. 3 times 5 is 15. 10 times 3 is 30. And 15 over 30 simplifies all the way down to 1/2. Personally, I would have simplified this before because 5 and 10 have a common factor of 5. 3 and 3 have a common factor of 3, and I would have gotten 1/2. That would have been to simplify. All right, if you have any questions, please shoot me an email. I will be happy to help you. If you need a one-on-one session, let me know. We'll set up a time someday between 2 and 4 where we can have a Google Meet. Hope you're having a great day. Hope I'll see you soon. Bye.